都脱稿，
都可以。因为我写这个的时候是从我的去写的，所以你看一看，如果是你在一个 big curator 的角度，应该怎么把你的问题 like throw to me。那么你们会很大哦，就是会不会很胖哦？It's okay. It's okay. It doesn't matter. So how are you going to like throw back the questions to me?
So like I want me to say something like so okay. By the way, Natalie, I have a question for you as well. So as a managing director of Language Academy in Hong Kong, can you just share your kind of experience with us, how you get involved with the exhibition and what makes you decide to support an exhibition is actually happening in London, and also
wow, the second point is a little bit challenging. Can you say that again?
It's the same.
Oh, okay, sure.
It's the same. And also from an educator's perspective, how would you describe the interlink between art and education?
Yeah, okay, sure. Okay, no problem.站得住吗？那个电话，玲玲，站得住吗？那个电话。那现在是谁在 TikTok 呢？谁在做 TikTok 呢？谁在那个 Onet 呢？他懂得怎么用。我的是不是已经开了？ 我都真係幾懵㗎。哦，我哋收聲，鬧緊人咁樣。我都真係幾懵。Hello, testing. 好凍啦！我想講，香港嘅朋友好凍啊！我唔知有冇人回應我，佢哋冇人回應。好凍啊！香港落雨落成點啊？我呢個係開咗噶嘛，係咪啊？所以先收到音係嘛？Wow! I just want water. So I think none of them are. Oh, I didn't order anything. I just want water. Another Americano M. Wow, such a big bottle of water. I didn't expect this. I didn't expect such a big bottle of water. Thank you. Feel free. I don't. Do you have any preference? M, please. So now, how many platforms are doing? How many platforms are on now? 4. 哇，我看不见了，你都看得见。
You can see that.
Oh.
TikTok.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we may start now, right? Okay, so here comes to the last day of the Brink, an expansive exhibition of 21 artists presenting sculpture, painting, screenings, and performing arts. And I'm Natalie, the Managing Director of Language Academy, one of the key sponsors of this exhibition. It's a great opportunity for us to gather all 3 curators here today to dive into a curatorial approach, the message they would like to convey, and the challenges they have faced, and most importantly, how they managed to hold such a successful and impressive exhibition. So maybe let's start with March first. Why the exhibition is titled as The Brink?
Well, actually, it's quite an interesting story to tell because we come up with this concept first of showing an exhibition in such a venue with like such a characteristic in a way. But then there was like at a certain point there was a debate within the team, like, shall we choose let the darkness in or just the brink? But then in the end, we feel like because it's actually quite a common expression in English, like on the brink, which means that on the edge of something. So for such a building that, well, for the record, it's a building coming from Victorian era. So it's literally like at least 200 years ago. And in between that time, there was like industrial revolution, there was factory here before, and at a certain point, this building was about to tear down because apparently it doesn't really fit in the character of this neighborhoods anymore. But then people, they feel like no, they cannot do that because it actually a building with so many history. You can see that it's literally kind of a demonstration of what's happened to the Great Britain in the past 200 years in a way. So from our perspective, we want to sort of exhibition literally kind of reflect the same spirits, even though when when you take a kind of first glance of this building of what is happening inside, you feel like, well, it's really about to crumble down. And as an artist, as a bunch of creators, what can we do to preserve this kind of spirit? Just basically transform these kind of venue into something, even though it could be just temporarily kind of meaningful in a way. So then we feel like the brink is the best, can reflect everything that we try to express. So that is how the title comes from.
I see. So the idea of collaborating sculpture, paintings, performing arts, and film in a revitalizing space like here at Ugly Duck is brilliant. How did you come up with such a great idea?
Well, actually, March has prepared this exhibition for nearly a year, and I've heard about this a long time ago. And at first, I was really interested in this concept because I've always think about how we can survive or find out new self in this kind of ruins and abandoned place, and how you can use art or use any kind of conditions to heal yourself. And March before, she in her previous exhibitions, she tried once to set up a special screening in her other exhibition, which is quite fun. And this time she invited me to join this exhibition as a film and visual curator to set up a special screening program. And we so according to this concept and this rough place, so I asked for help from IAFF, International Animal Feature Film Festival, and also from my database, and also some filmmakers from other exhibitions to and select the 5 films for this exhibition.
So, what are the challenges of curating an exhibition like this, which houses a variety of medium?
Well, it's definitely a challenge for sure, because as I was saying, it is literally a building has its very unique character in a way, but we are also trying to, not just to throw out some random student show in the space. We still want to, at the end of the day, create some very meaningful conversation about, because everybody know that next week is freeze. So all different kind of galleries or art organizations from literally around the world, they just flush into London. But in most, I would say 85 in these kind of cases, people only think about big shiny white cubics kind of place, like shiny white walls in these kind of freeze little booths. But we don't really see a lot of kind of exhibition or art events literally happening in these kind of abnormal kind of venue. So that was also one of the starting point that why we were choosing these kind of space in the first place. But at the same time, even though we only, I think, I don't know, we only spent 1.5 day to finish the installation in a way. Yeah, but it was literally very intense, 1.5 day, 20 hours, very intense 20 hours, because there's a lot of items that basically an architect told us these kind of little items, they wouldn't call it rubbish. They live in this garage. So they're already kind of a part of these venue. But for us, we still want to, don't, because there's certain kind of full-standing sculptures. They really require a kind of their own kind of space to, set out the volume. So we need to pick what is kind of meaningful to the expression of the exhibition, what is kind of irrelevant. Like, for example, these two benches, they were in the main room previously. And then this artist, Pia, when she came to installation, she felt like, oh, somehow these benches somehow create this kind of church chapel vibe, which is somehow kind of strengths on the previous kind of expression. So kind of it's also site specific in a way. So yeah, so that was a challenge, but we resolved it, and I hope that everybody who actually make their way to the exhibition, they can, have some takeaway from this journey.
Until the day before our exhibition, I couldn't imagine it would be like in such a rough and a crazy space. I've never found this kind of thing before. And we talked a long time how we can put those artworks, so many artworks into this kind of space, and how to make them involving this kind of vibe. But surprisingly, it fits really well, especially that the painting of Rose. When it's arrived, we just decided let's put it here because it fits well with the wall so well. And also for for the swinging parts, I changed my mind for a lot of times. Where can I set up a small cinema? And that was impossible to do that in this place. And for the screen, I firstly chose we use like monitor, a TV, a screen, and then we decided the white sheet. We found that it's so unstable. It will float, and Joe came up with the idea to me like let's put the blackboard, let's hang that one, and let's use the board to block an area for you, and we just.
And those boards are also were the original part of the building as well, which is important, as well as those weights. So we incorporated very much as much furniture as we could, and as long as they fit the vibe and the message that the artists try to relay.
So about the message that conveyed through this exhibition, I found that environmental issues and like animal-friendly topics are very obvious that the artist or the curator want to bring out. So nature, environment, and human, and the relationship between them, it seems is one of the core topics that you would like to explore in this exhibitions. So is there any more deeper message you want to convey through the curation and the way you present it like this?
I think the whole setup and the choice of the artist as well kind of speaks to itself. A lot of them relate to the animal rights and our connection to animal life and natural life, and how we're lost touch with it, and how it is important, especially at this period of time now, to reconnect, find the bond again, and including the spring program, it really kind of activates our empathy fields towards the animal life, towards also our man-made places like this, and think of how this place is affected the nature and how we can turn them into something more meaningful and helpful to the nature and to the society. So yes, for sure, there is environmental message as for performance, the message of the consumption in many artworks of capturing standard, and also Ross as well talks about it a lot, and also the spiritual element of connection, like Pia and Anna, and working amazingly, bring the attention to the diverse of moments that we have on a daily basis, and we kind of don't really recognize them. So it's all about centering yourself. Take a big deep breath, and we connect through the art that we offer, and through these artists who offer their help actually through the artworks to do so. So
I want to bring another artist as an example. She is Alex Young. So if you can see that she's the one who made all these crows and that moon over there. So the reason I want to bring her up is because basically in our first meeting, she immediately brings it up that she has amnesia, which means that basically throughout her life she needs to take a lot of medicine so as to kind of control these kind of symptoms in a way. So it's not that obvious in these two pieces that she actually bring to the exhibitions. But I went to her graduation show in RCA. She actually like mold some of her medicine and put it kind of next to her works. So, and afterwards I have a long talk with her. She said actually every time when she do like sculptures, it's also a healing journey for herself. So that is why whatever she made at the end of the day is kind of the result of she kind of the kind of process of making, the process of healing. So she wants to present this final result to the audience, and she really wishes that they can have the same kind of effect when they are surrounded by her work, and as I said, have some takeaway after after the exhibitions.
Yeah, and so, and when we talk about when we talk about how to find yourself and heal yourself in such a abandoned or broken world, like you can see like all of our artists or the filmmakers, they either choose to connect to the nature or the animal to find themselves, to express themselves, or they even just use art, like they learn how to paint, they learn how to act, they learn how to make sculpture to heal themselves. It's like two different kind of ways and from each side. And also like in for the filmmakers, like whom I choose, they either do like go to the nature to feel themselves in that kind of dark world, and they either use the trees they imagine the trees are like our human bodies, and yeah, to feel how we can stretch ourselves, how we can breathe, how we can get through in the roots. And also or they learn how they go to art school, they go to learn how to act or act in the play or on the stage to express themselves, to defend themselves, and to like something like that. Just
yeah, I say that is a kind of self-exploration process. Yeah, and art production. I mean, when you create your work, it's kind of healing yourself too. Yeah, I understand that point.
By the way, Natalie, since you are here, fly all the way from Hong Kong. So I have a question for you as well. So Natalie, you are the manager director of Language Academy in Hong Kong. So I was wondering, can you also share with us your journey and what makes you decide to support these exhibitions, and also as a very as an educator yourself, can you also share your kind of experience about how would you describe the interlink between art and education in your own words?
I think so. First, the academy I am in charge or I'm leading actually serves the groups of more able and elite students. They have a desire to learn beyond the classrooms, and they're able to learn cross-disciplinary contents. And as an art lover, and also I'm an advocate of situated learning. I feel like art is a very impactful and useful medium for us to learn, especially language learning, because while artwork creation evokes the creativity inside each of us, I think that is a talent that all of us has. And language is another kind of medium that build a bridge between the creator and the audience. And for example, like when we visit a museum or an exhibition, we can listen to the audio guide or we can read the descriptions. Even though the same painting or sculpture, the same artwork, different, like maybe the creator has a meaning to convey, but then the viewer, they may have a different perception or perspective to understand the artwork. I think it is an interesting communication as well. And this kind of communications is interesting way for them to exchange ideas, and it is a more grounded way to learn as well. I think education is not only chalk and talk, and it should not be one way, and it should be interactive, and it's all about communication and how you like express your and how you like express yourself and also communicate with the other. And for my support for this show, first is a very like appealing attempt for me to try to see whether we can interlink art and language studies together through some hands-on experience. For example, we have a workshop yesterday, and then most importantly, actually, I think even though all of us has a talent for creativity, but then it is important for educations to like to educate how they create. For example, like just Lillian talk about, they go to the art school to learn, and they have to learn the skills, something like that. And I think education is needed for no matter like to nurture some talents in different aspects, no matter screening or sculpture. So it is the same philosophy, no matter for language studies or for art.
So interesting, because during my growing up, I never got a chance to learn how to just look yourself and find yourself, or even when you got some trauma, I don't know how to deal with it. I didn't even realize that that is a problem. And yeah, just from this year, like when I it was the time to at UCL my MA degree. Yeah, during that process, we were asked to make a personal film, and I didn't know what that is, and I didn't know what to do. I've never done that kind of thing before, but it gave me a chance to look back, and then look inside to what I have been through, and that's the power of education. Like my professor told me how to look yourself and how to look that kind of trauma you have been through and find a way to go through it.
Well, I just like you, Lynn, you're an expert in documentary filmmaking, and it is like you just mentioned about how your program like lead you the way you become a filmmaker, right? And I think that is the power of education, and also for self-exploration. Sometimes it is inspirational for you to find yourself. Education is not just like textbook or like remember some philosophy, but it's more about realization, like find yourself during the studies. So yeah, so I think they have some relationship between not some, but it is have a lot of relationship between education and art.
We
Yeah.
need someone to tell us how you can do that, what kind of way you can choose.
And also like I think language actually is a kind of art too. For example, like in some films there are subtitles, but then sometimes there's no subtitles for the audience to feel by just pictures and motions, and also music, of course. So I think language is a part of the artwork too.
Yeah, well, in general, making artwork is the way of communication. And of course, language is the one of the first ways of communication that actually made societies, all the societies, ancient societies, workable and efficient. That's where we are right now, only thanks to language, actually.
That kind of reminds me because I graduated from RC curation course a year ago. So when I was still there, one day we have a very interesting lectures. So we were kind of having a discussion about, is there a universal language that everybody can understand? When you think about it, English, yes, a lot of people. So English, for everyone who can actually speak and understand, yes, it is a huge kind of the largest population in the world. But still, if you think of some very, certain areas of the
group,
world,
yeah.
there's still people cannot understand English. Chinese, yeah, in China, everybody speaks Chinese, but it's still kind of quite limited outside of China. So at the end of the day, we don't really have a universal language.
Arts is, I do think,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's so interesting because I just went through all the rushes I filmed last week in Paris. It was a story. It's a story about a Chinese brand, and when I asked them, why do you think like people in Paris, like especially European, can, well, they like they love you so much. Why 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 do you think you can do that? They said like, yeah, actually for us, I'm not just the one who can play the piano, who can play the guitar. We are musicians, and the music is a universal language. Something like that. Even though for Europeans or for people from other countries, they don't know Chinese music, but when they hear it,
They feel the emotion, yeah.
they can feel the emotion.
It resonates with the emotion.
So is there any future projects you're working on that is also able to share with us, or like a prediction? Is there any something upcoming?
Well, at the moment, not really. But I think I really feel very grateful in a way because I wasn't expected so many people really show up.
300, more than 300, 400 already.
So and also because during the past 2 days, I've been receiving so many messages, a lot of people, like literally across different cultures, and people even sending me messages from China saying, "Oh yeah, we heard there's like huge success. The opening is very great. It even compares to some like mega galleries, which I wouldn't name the." So like, oh yes, it's like I think like this exhibition is one of the best across the years for such kind. So that well kind of leaves me thinking that because Tiderip is a brand kind of new and old at the same time. So I found it like 2 years ago in Shanghai, but literally starting from last year because I now pretty much moved to London full time. So I was always trying to figure out how to bridge kind of UK and China in a way, and also since Lingling joined Taijin this year, also trying to becoming more experimental in a way to bring film and production also into the kind of the broader kind of arts discussion.
Yeah, well, just yesterday we were talking about like, yeah, we should do it again and what we can do for next year. And our concept will always be like how we can set up a new world and use different venues to create an exhibition. How we can combine artworks into different kind of new world, or like ruins like this venue, or even maybe some one day we will go to factories, we will go to like wild woods or something like that. I don't know. It's just, yeah, we should plan that from today.
Definitely.
In short, until we find another cool venue like this. Now
Yeah.
definitely spread the news. Like everybody tag along. We're having it. That's true.
Yeah, so we should stay tuned for your next announcement.
For sure.
Yeah. So thank you again for all of you to be here today. So I think we have a wonderful afternoon today. Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
I don't know what I'm talking actually. I don't know what I'm talking actually. I feel like I'm